so I started calling all these bookstores and said, hey, if you want to give my clients a little bit of a discount or our authors a little bit of a discount and allow me to make a connection to your technology, let's make it so our authors don't have to spend $5,000 buying books from us. Let's make it so they can just get their site up and running. And every time a book sells, they just fire that sale to you with the address. They will pay you. So that way we're not sending credit card information. The author's going to pay you for the book and you just drop ship it.
Continue the journey. So yeah, you started your own ghostwriting and you had a ghostwriting school. So now you've got not only you, but your students writing a lot of books. And you had this favorite publisher and you'd seen their work and you really admired them and obviously had a great relationship there. So 2022, you get the chance to invest heavily there, basically become the CEO and start taking the reins. So now you've got a very direct outlet for the books that are appropriate to be under that publisher. So you can see the flywheels continuing to form. Yep. And so then what comes next?
Well, the first thing I did with Morgan James is I announced and put in place what I call the Ghostwriter School Concierge Program, where students, it's not just, hey, we got a relationship to Morgan James. It's here's a link to make here's a Calendly link to the founder's calendar. If you want to schedule a 30-minute call with him at any time, he'll take your call, talk about your books, talk about your clients' books, and hopefully you can build a relationship with Morgan James like I did to say, let me just double check about this book. And we have since started publishing several Ghostwriter School students' books. And because one of the things that helped me close, quote unquote, more clients is, oh yeah, if you work with me, you don't have to worry about publishing because I've already got a pre-approval, like, mortgage letter or whatever. And so and I trained them on how to do it. And then so we had this great relationship going where we have more books coming to Morgan James. We added more value to Ghostwriter School because publishing, to be able to check off publishing. And there's self-publishing lessons and everything in there. And I help people. I don't just direct people to Morgan James, but finding the right publishing fit is great. And be able to have an easy relationship is certainly helpful and valuable to ghostwriting businesses. And so I have, and still when I took over Morgan James, I don't like how it says, but when I joined Morgan James, the rule was everyone gets paid but me. And so make sure everyone's getting paid. I'm not taking anything out of it from my investment. We're just going to reinvest everything until Morgan James is the most innovative, author-friendly, tech-supported publisher. And so we had so many great pieces checked off for authors to become successful. You can get published, you can get written, but the marketing piece and the commercial success and beyond it, because Morgan James does marketing. We market to the bookstores, but the authors who make the most money and make the most impact are the ones who market their own books. So we do our piece, but we really encourage them, like, ignore what we do. We're focused on selling to bookstores. You focus on selling to customers, and let's help each other become more successful. So one of the frustrations that I had is we have bookstore access and we distribute to the bookstores. But what I realize is that the way that authors make the most money is through digital marketing funnels many times, where they sell their book and they upsell courses, memberships, things like that. And in order to do that, they needed to buy a whole bunch of books from us or from their publisher or from a printer if they're self-published, spend $5,000, $10,000, and then ship those books to a fulfillment house, and then sell the books on their website, and then ship each book again to the customer. And they might spend $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 a book and plus shipping, but they're $5,000, $10,000 in, and then pay another $6 shipping it to the customer. So they're like $15, $13, I say $10, $15 into their book by the time it gets to their customer. And so I started calling all these bookstores and said, hey, if you want to give my clients a little bit of a discount or our authors a little bit of a discount and allow me to make a connection to your technology, let's make it so our authors don't have to spend $5,000 buying books from us. Let's make it so they can just get their site up and running. And every time a book sells, they just fire that sale to you with the address. They will pay you. So that way we're not sending credit card information. The author's going to pay you for the book and you just drop ship it to the consumer. And
seems to make total sense. So I'm sure all the bookstores were like, heck yeah, Nick, sign me up, right?
I spoke to representatives from more than 200 bookstores. And they all told me it's impossible, it's crazy, whatever. So I did it myself. I was like, you know what? I'll figure this out. And I bumped my head all over the place. So I built this bookstore, and there is a bookstore live online that people can go and buy books. But the idea is I don't have to just process books on the bookstore. So I now have a relationship with Morgan James. So it's super easy for me to do with Morgan James authors. And it's super easy for me to do with self-published authors who want to send me the print files for their book, because I can create my own relationships with book printing.
Hmm.
So that way I don't have to buy them on Amazon or buy them through distributors or whatever. So I have authors now sending me the money for their book, and it ends up, for self-publishing, it ends up being around the same price. I just need to print and ship it, and I'm printing it one at a time. And because I'm a bookstore, I have to sell it at retail, but I can give a discount. But even with shipping, it ends up being about the same cost to print it and ship it twice, once to the fulfillment house and then once to the customer. Sometimes it's a little cheaper, sometimes a buck or two more expensive. With Morgan James books, you also earn a royalty on those sales because you're selling it through a bookstore.
Yeah.
But this way, instead of sending someone to Amazon and Barnes and Noble and getting Amazon a customer and earning just the royalty, you send them to a bookstore after you already collect their information and upsell, and those books get reported to USA Today and other bestseller lists. And so you're able to get the best of all worlds. You don't need to spend 5 or 10 grand. You don't need to ship a book twice. You don't need to have any inventory. You just have your funnel up. You get your average cart value wherever you can get it, and you collect the information. Then you just put a card on file with me, or buy in bulk from me, and 100 at a time, 50 at a time, depending on how much you sell. And then I just drop ship it everywhere. And that way you're able to get those counted book sales. You're able to earn a royalty if you're published with Morgan James, the one that I've been doing. And so the idea here is now you can put that money into Facebook ads or into X ads or into LinkedIn ads or whatever it is to pay traffic, that $5,000 or $10,000, instead of having to buy inventory, number one. And number two, you are able to get started faster. You don't have to worry about 5,000 books to print or whatever. So there's just a lot of benefits to that. So now we have this sort of flywheel with the 4 main companies that I work with. Since we last spoke, I did start some digital marketing companies. Morgan James is partnering with a high-level reseller to create software people can subscribe to, even if they're not Morgan James authors, that have a handful of funnels and a newsletter template in there that they can just customize. So essentially, we're trying to help people. All right, what other barriers can we take away and make super easy for